Right, so here's the deal. Every day for 10 minutes, we're going to give you all the news without any opinion. There's no fuss, there's no debate, there's no opinion. In fact, this news bulletin is going to be so old school that I'm not going to display any emotion when I read out the news to you, which is really how it should be. So it's the 19th of February. Here's your news bulletin for the day. To begin with, the Indian Express reports that India and China have completed the first phase of disengagement from the north and the south bank of the Pangong Lake. The 10th round of talks between the two countries is set to take place tomorrow. The four-step disengagement included first pulling back of armor, artillery, and other heavy equipment, followed by the infantry. In the meantime, China has, for the first time since June last year, admitted that 4 PLA soldiers were killed during the clash between India and China, and a 5th soldier died during a rescue mission at the LAC. You remember when India and China clashed in Galwan Valley last year, India lost 20 soldiers, but China refused to acknowledge any loss of life on its side until now. Moving on, the Delhi court has today sent activist Disha Ravi to 3 days of judicial custody in the toolkit case. The police said her custodial interrogation was not required for the time being, but the agency may seek further interrogation once her co-accused, Shantanu Muluk and Nikita Jacob, join the interrogation. In the meantime, the Delhi court has said that certain media coverage of the investigation indicates, and I quote, sensationalism and prejudicial reporting, end quote. But it declined to order the removal of that content at this stage. The court, however, asked the media to ensure that no leaked investigation is broadcast, as it could affect the probe. The court was also hearing Ravi's plea to restrain the police from leaking any probe material to the media. The police arrested Disha Ravi in this case, while Mumbai lawyer Nikita Jacob and Pune-based engineer Shantanu Muluk have been granted pre-arrest bail by the court. In Unnao, following that horrific story that emerged where 3 girls had obviously been attacked and 2 were found dead, 6 police teams have been formed to probe the deaths of those 2 minor girls who were found dead in the field in Unnao. While the police has ruled out suggestions that their hands were tied, there were no injury marks found on their bodies. All angles are being looked into. Unfortunately, the autopsy did not zero in on the cause of deaths of the minors, which was inconclusive. The 3 minor girls were found lying unconscious in a field in Unnao district on Wednesday. 2 of them were declared dead when they were brought to the hospital. The condition of the 3rd remains critical. She is in a hospital in Kanpur. A medical bulletin at the Kanpur hospital noted that it is a suspected case of poisoning because that's what she's been treated for. Officials have said, according to a report in the PTI. The Maharashtra government is now taking steps to reduce the surge of COVID cases in the state. Now, in a bid to control the number of coronavirus cases in the state of Maharashtra, the Maharashtra government has announced a list of new COVID guidelines, including lockdowns in Yavatmal and Amravati and stricter curbs in Mumbai. A 10-day lockdown was announced in Yavatmal, and a weekend lockdown has been opposed in Amravati. Now, this comes after researchers have found 2 new mutations of coronavirus from the samples in Amravati and Yavatmal districts of eastern Maharashtra, and they say that these new samples indicate that they can escape antibodies. Of course, none of the samples showed any traces of the UK, South African, or Brazilian strains of coronavirus. In Mumbai, the civic body has decided to resume stamping the hands of people who have been placed under home quarantine so that home quarantine can actually be maintained, and any case of violation, an offense will be registered against them. Apart from this, the civic body has said that 7-day institutional quarantine for travelers coming into the Chhatrapati Maharaj Shivaji International Airport from Brazil, where the new strain of the virus has been found. The civic body has also intensified action against people found not wearing their masks in public and will take action against function halls, gymnasiums, and other establishments that don't follow safety norms. The permissible limit for guests in function halls is currently 50 people, and restaurants are allowed to operate with 50% occupancy at any given time. Internationally, the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, has said that 10 countries have administered 75% of the world's total vaccine supply, and 130 countries haven't received their first dose yet. He's proposed G20 members create an emergency task force to provide resources to make vaccines more accessible to countries in what they call the Global South. This week, Mexico indicated it would file a complaint over unfair vaccine rollout, which has favored richer countries. In India, though, the vaccine seems to be picking up pace. As of today, a total of 1 crore people have been vaccinated against coronavirus in India, according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. As many as 658,674 people were vaccinated in India in the last 24 hours. India's coronavirus vaccination drive, which is the world's largest vaccination program, started on the 16th of January. In the US, Joe Biden administration has introduced a pro-immigration bill. In the US Congress, apart from other provisions, the bill proposes to relax the norms related to green cards and H-1B visas that will benefit several thousand Indian professionals who are mostly in the IT sector. This is according to a report by the PTI. The H-1B is a non-immigrant visa that allows American companies to employ foreign workers in occupations that require theoretical or technical expertise. If the bill is passed, it will offer an 8-year path to citizenship for millions of people who are living in the United States unlawfully on the 1st of January 2021. It will make them eligible for green cards after 5 years of temporary status if they pass the background checks and pay their taxes. They could then apply for citizenship 3 years later. This is according to a report in the Reuters. In a statement on Thursday, President Joe Biden said that he looked forward to working with the leaders in the White House and the Senate to address the wrongdoings of the past administration and restore justice, humanity, and order to the immigration system, end quote. 4 days after a powerful winter storm overwhelmed Texas's electricity grid, bringing life in the second largest state in America to a grinding halt, power is beginning to come back in Texas. The crisis, though, is far from over, as thousands of homes remain without energy because of downed lines and other issues because of the weather. About a little over 3 lakh homes and businesses remained without power in Texas on Thursday, down from about 30 lakh the previous day, as officials say limited rolling blackouts are still possible. The storm has left more than 450,000 people from West Virginia to Louisiana without power, and 100,000 people in Oregon are still enduring a week-long outage, followed by a massive ice and a snowstorm. Well, there's one piece of interesting news. NASA has managed to take the Mars rover Perseverance and land it into a crater called Jezero on Mars, the red planet, on Friday. It was a very risky mission, but the mission is aimed at finding out whether there were life forms ever on Mars. Now, several scientists at NASA were exuberant and celebrating when Perseverance made that safe landing. But the head of the California operations at NASA, Swati Mohan, who wore a bindi with her mask during this entire mission, confirmed the landing of Rover in that crater. That brings me to the end of this news bulletin. Remember, our idea here is to bring you the news without any opinion, just a clean bulletin. We're going to try and improve it and incorporate some of the suggestions you gave us. So come Monday, we'll have better production quality. We'll also have some captions put in for all of the stories so that this bulletin becomes accessible to those or to the hearing impaired as well. If you have any more suggestions for us, leave it at the bottom of this video. It will be our pleasure to incorporate your suggestions and make this offering better. For now, thank you for watching and good night.